Snowden and Manning and whatnot. Well, I left some comments in this guy's video, UnseenPerfidy, and I'd had some sort of a comment exchange with him, but I didn't know who it was. But then I recognized the guy's face, and he's had other accounts and stuff. Anyway, he blocked me for leaving these comments in his video. He evidently started answering my comments, and then he said, "Oh, to hell with it," and blocked me. Because you only see the latest comment. That was the first one I saw. I was going to read the other ones, but I can't reply. You know, now people are replying in there. You know what you said made no sense. It's like, no, I don't even know what you're replying to, because why go there just for the frustration of what I have to make a video to reply to you? No, fuck it. You guys don't want to argue. And that's the thing, too. It's like this guy's been talking to Skid Row Radio, who he's insulting, for years, I would think. And it's like, but he has a very high standard. That's why he doesn't want to talk to me. No, because I wasn't misstating any facts. Those guys like to nitpick over some sort of a fact, but all I was trying to find out from him, from Skep, do they realize it's possible to, you know, have a position against state torture, against, like, they try to argue, was that collateral murder video that WikiLeaks released that Manning had found, was that a war crime? Well, the funny thing about questions like that is they have to go to trial and have a jury. And who's trial and jury? Yeah, there are some courts in the world, some international courts, where the jury might be convinced that pick up a gun. It's not the spirit of engagement. So, or firing on that van, they could decide that the van was first responders, which it was. On the other hand, our soldiers were following our rules of engagement, but our rules of engagement weren't necessarily chosen legally. Just a bunch of people like Rumsfeld that here's how we want to do it. We write the rules. Catch us if you can. So I'm interested in this debate of how much of that kind of thing should we do. But I'm just curious, because I know that this internet thing, it's like, find an idiot and attack them. Well, that works great if you want to find somebody that believes young earth creationism or race realism or something. But when you have matters of actual international policy and national policy, foreign policy, there's people on both sides, and they're acting like no, anybody that's supporting Snowden, or anybody that doesn't think we need so much clandestine operation, or that this is too harsh, or that the government needs to, if it's going to break the law, we need to get it out, and that can't be done through proper channels. Just any of these positions, their attitude is so naive. It's like, well, no, if you knew all the facts, and you'd think it was fine to take your shoes off at the airport. You'd realize it was necessary. No, because I believe in live free or die. Well, that's another thing, he's like, he jumped right on, I'm a drunk. If UnseenPerfidy is a Puritan, obsessive compulsive, and so he sees someone that drinks and could go, oh, I could pretend that that's the only reason he is against clandestine activities and top secret world, and if he didn't drink alcohol, then he... And that's fine. I just assume know that it's legal, and if there's always been a third of the U.S. tending towards Puritans of some sort or another, and they're dicks, So it's good to know right away. But people want to jump to that. It's like I don't know what kind of a game they think we're playing. I still get my vote, right? As far as political action, it's like I'll put my time in here, discussing this kind of stuff with someone like UnseenPerfidy is because I could never think up the crazy shit ideas, because two well-informed people will still disagree. Why? Because of their value systems. Like, he probably doesn't want to live free or die. He just wants to live and not die. So it's like, obviously they will have to stick a scanner up your butt. We must live. It is objective. like I tried to use that example in the other video, you know, it's and this was an example somebody else had thought up in a ethical discussion. You know, you could create a situation where you have to torture a child to survive, and it's presented as potentially an objective or a compelling reason, and it's like, I don't want to save the life of a society that can only survive by torturing children. That's too weak of a society. What next? So, where would they draw the line? I mean, exactly how much? Where will they draw the line? Right? You know, this unseen dude was also criticizing Skid Row, which is something I've done plenty of times, but not on this subject, but, well, even on this subject in a sense. But he was criticizing Skid for saying that the wiretapping started under Bush and was expanded, and he tries to nitpick. It's like, because it was illegal wiretapping, warrantless wiretapping under Bush, now there's a warrant. Yeah, okay, so they did something illegal, just like Snowden did. And some people supported that. They're like, yeah, but it's illegal, but you have to do it. And they work to make it legal. That's the level of the debate. But it was illegal what Assange did, but is it dangerous? Should it be illegal? Did it hurt anybody? And why is he going to jail for 30, 35 years? And the head of the NSA lies to Congress, he still got his job. You know, people were bugging the UN. Who goes to international jail for that? So, how can you not believe that there's people that are informed that believe that those policies are not useful, not helpful, not moral, so they don't want to do them? They just want to act like, we're talking to people that we're smarter than, therefore we must be right. No, it doesn't make you right. It doesn't make you right just because you're talking to people who miss facts that you then get to point out, because these policies don't depend on those facts. And it's totally understandable if somebody on the other side who thinks that the rules of engagement and what they saw in collateral murder was wrong, makes total sense. They would call that a war crime. And to say, well, but it hasn't been adjudicated yet, so we can't say. No, we can say. Right? Because people that think stuff like that should be prosecuted say so. Now, for the record, I don't think that the helicopter pilots, they were following the rules of engagement. Now, the thing is, there is the Nuremberg issue of it's no defense just to say you were following orders. But there is a structure within that. And I would say that the people that should be going to jail is the people that write those rules. It is a war crime if you were going to attack first responders, and you can go, oh, but those don't count because of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, a jury and a court might see differently, so it's possibly could be a war crime. We're pretending we're making the judgment. It's not that surprising that somebody would find that. But mostly, I just want that kind of information to come out. I think that camera footage should all be released automatically, 3 months after it was taken. I don't think the government needs so many secrets. I don't think if you want to have a bank that's secure, it's not like you don't tell people there's a bank, because then somebody might get the idea to rob it. And you don't not tell people where the bank is, and you don't not tell people the money is in the safe. You can even tell people where the safe is. You just hide the password. That's what I believe about covert operation. You should say what kinds of things you're doing. You just don't give away the passwords. You don't give away the passwords to the operations. But the kind of stuff, because we don't have any other choice, because it's a democracy. And as far as I'm concerned, Snowden and Manning, they did go up their chain of the command. Because who's the top of the chain of the command? The people.